3, 2, 1.
And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, insurance, taxes, so much more here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, talking about a lot of things that really matter to you and your wallet. It's all about helping our radio family, our TV show family out there understand more about your buying decisions, making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Big announcement also coming up in a couple of days. We're moving over to AM 860 The Answer. Tune in on AM 860 The Answer, FM 93.7 as well. And we're joining an all-star lineup there on AM 860 The Answer coming up on Thursday. Real excited about that. Big audience, big growth. We have our weekend show, FM 102.5 The Bone, as well as find us on your smart TV. If you're watching TV on the weekends, you want to have some consumer advocate content, you got family over, you're thinking about it, tune in on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, and all you have to do is search Binge Networks. That's where you'll find the Consumer Quarterback Show and all of our expert contributors, 80-plus show categories of expert contributor advice right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And it all starts with these folks in studio today with me. Doug, Levi, back in studio, Strategic Insurance. Welcome back in,
yes,
sir.
Another great day in the Bay.
Yeah,
Good
man.
to be here.
Absolutely.
Good to be here, so.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So we're going to talk about all types of different insurance products, ways that people can protect their assets and quite possibly themselves, their livelihood.
Absolutely. We've got some great stuff today. We're going to talk about what to do for real estate investors with insurance, because that's a big one.
Nice.
There's a lot of real estate investors in the Bay Area, so we'll get into that.
It's one of the best markets in the nation, probably a top 10 market. You look at that, you see some of these out-of-state firms, the big internet marketing firms buying properties in this area now. A lot of the hedge funds, one of the safest places where people really do like to invest, the Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, Palm Harbor areas. We got Diane Vance in studio as well. Welcome back.
Hey, thank you for having me, Brandon.
My pleasure.
I'm glad to be here. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Fed moving the interest rates and kind of what that means to the normal consumer.
Nice.
So we're going to go over that.
Interesting. Okay, so it has a ripple effect. It tends to have a big ripple effect, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
It's interesting.
It's a lot of things, but yes, that is a part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Fairway Independent Mortgage, support your local real estate team, your local mortgage company here in Tampa Bay. Don't support the big banks. Those are the guys that took the bailout money, bought all the best commercial properties in the world. And if you look every year, if you're really a student of the game and the economics, every single year, the big names, I'm not going to name them, but you know who they are. They get millions and billions of dollars in fines because of practices that they do, and it's public knowledge. So I'm just telling you, support our local team here in Tampa Bay. Doug, Levi in studio, Diane Vance, and I'm Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host of the show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, and we want to help you win buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. We've got a great property on the beach. This one's Mandalay Avenue, 861 Mandalay Avenue. Now, this is one of my favorite listings I've had in a long time. This is gorgeous. You're literally 200 steps into the beach, and you've got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath property with a 3rd bedroom. Technically can't count it, but it's great. There's a cool little party deck in between here. It's like a bar right in the middle, but a great property right on Clearwater Beach at 861 Mandalay Avenue, just over $700,000 as well. So you're living in a great neighborhood there on the beach. 1645 Parker Boulevard in Odessa. This is a gorgeous property also. Now, this property is a gated community. You've got lake access on Parker Point Boulevard, 1645 Parker Point Boulevard. Now, this property is, you have gated access. You have the ability to put a lake boat into the lake. Just check out all of our real estate properties, beautiful properties at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort, Gulf Boulevard, Treasure Island, Florida. Beautiful, beautiful place to stay. Just a awesome getaway, whether you're planning a family vacation, local staycation, a wedding, business trip. Check out the Bilmar Beach Resort on Gulf Boulevard, filled with fantastic and generous amenities. There's 2 pools on site. You've got a huge beach. Clyde Smith says it's a 2-beer beach. He's the general manager. He says it literally takes you 2 beers to walk all the way down. And I said, well, that's depending on your pace, I guess, right, Clyde? But book directly with them, because you're going to get the best deal when you book directly with the Bilmar Beach Resort, Gulf Boulevard, Treasure Island. Don't book online. Call them or book directly. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, let's jump right into it. We got Doug Levi here, Strategic Insurance. And, insurance is the name of the game for your business, for your family. And you've got all types of resources and tools at your disposal.
Yeah, absolutely. And we really believe in total protection for the client. And one of the things I mentioned just in the intro is talking to real estate investors. There's a lot of real estate investors here in the Tampa Bay area. And we want to make sure that they know the special types of policies they need to have. And what made me think of it, Brandon, working with a client right now even is, let's say I buy a home and I have it as a rental and it goes vacant for a period of time. Super important to contact your agent and let them know that. Most policies have what's known as a vacancy clause, which says if the policy is vacant for 60 days or more, you're going to have coverage denied. And again, if we just did a man on their street interview and polled a lot of real estate investors and said, hey, do you know that on your home, your rental dwelling insurance, if it's vacant for a certain period of time, that they could potentially deny a claim, I guarantee most are going to say no.
Wow.
There may be a lot of other insurance agents out there that don't know that. So other insurance agents that are listening, make sure you know that and take care of your clients. So that's really important, though. Again, so if your home becomes vacant, you want to let your agent know, and then the policy would potentially have to be rewritten to a vacant policy. So everything that happens has different scenarios with it. And I joke with people, the policy's 50, 100 pages long, not for everything that's covered. It is a contract, and you really got to kind of be aware and know what you're doing.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, they look at it as more risk because the property's vacant. There could be more risk of vandalism. If a pipe bursts, nobody's going to see it for weeks. Mold's going to be in there. I mean, that's the reasoning.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. So let's say a pipe breaks and causes a flood and no one's in there regularly. They may not find out for a month or more. And now you've got perhaps a small claim if there was someone in there that's become a very big claim.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely a big one for people to be aware of. The other thing I would say too, and again, I'm always trying to look for real live stories for you guys that kind of impact the consumer out there and things that we're dealing with every day on the front lines with our clients, is renovation. So this is a big one. And this could be not only a real estate investor, but this could be a homeowner. I just met with a client. Again, we'll hold all innocent and not mention names, but been a client of mine for several years. We do protection reviews, so we encourage reviews each year. Our clients don't always take us up on that. We understand that people are busy, but we actually sat down and met with this client recently. He said, "Oh yeah, by the way, I added 1,500 square feet onto my house 2 years ago."
Wow.
We had no idea.
Wow.
So unless someone proactively calls us and lets us know, oh, by the way, I added 1,500 square feet.
Yeah.
This guy happens to be a contractor. So, he's doing things at cost, and I get that. But, people get busy. They just don't think about that.
Exactly.
But the reality is, and this, obviously, from the real estate perspective, that increased the value of his home overall.
Yeah.
It also increased the insurable value of his home. Mm-hmm. So if his home were to have, God forbid, it burned to the ground, and he hadn't let us know, and we go and say, here's, a couple $100,000, he could have really been out of pocket some money. So that's something that, again, for people out there just to know, if you're doing renovation at any level, get in touch with your agent, talk through it with them, make sure they're aware, or you can certainly reach out to us. Our number is 866-INS-0123. So real easy, 866-INS, short for insurance, 0123. Or you can get us at tampabayinsurance.com, and we're always happy to do those, look under the hood for you, if you will, and see what you need.
Yeah, tampabayinsurance.com if you're driving out there. And Doug, real estate's a big part of your business, automobile. You've got some of the other policies for disabilities and things of that nature. Talk to us a little bit about automobile, because you brought up some good points in the past as well relating to that. What do you got to look for? What do you need to know? Uninsured motorist, one of those things, I believe.
Absolutely. So several coverages. You want to make sure you've got good liability protection. We normally recommend to most of our clients 100-300 liability. That stands for $100,000 in the event of an accident. So if you get into an accident and you hurt someone and they're in the car by themselves, you'd have $100,000 to defend yourself. The 300 is if there's multiple people in the car, you got involved with multiple cars or something like that, would give you up to 300,000. So that's really a good standard liability limit most people should have.
Yeah.
Certainly we understand some people may have less or may have needs for more. Uninsured motorist is a big one. That protects people when the other guy's at fault and they have no insurance or they're underinsured. About 30% of all the drivers in our state have no insurance or are underinsured. So, that's a big one. And we also talk to a lot of our clients about umbrella coverage, and umbrellas go above and beyond all of your underlying assets. So it could go over your home, your car, if you have a boat, if you have rental property. Definitely a good idea in terms of protecting yourself. I tell people it's probably, one of the best policies you can buy that's very affordable. They're normally $300 to $400 a year. That'll give you $1 million or more in coverage. And for people that, have good income and have assets to protect, it's one of the best ways to take care of yourself. And most financial planners, most attorneys will recommend that as well.
Yeah, it's important to look at the overall wealth and health of your businesses, your family, your assets, both, property casualty assets, automobiles, those types of things. You want to maybe factor in trust in certain situations. There's a lot of things that you want to look at and you want to consider. Doug Levi, check him out, TampaBayInsurance.com, or is it INS.com?
It's TampaBayInsurance.com.
Insurance.com.
Our toll-free phone number is 866-INS-0123.
Perfect. All right, and more from Doug coming up in the show as well. We might talk about a review offer too, text a review later on in the show. Diane, Vance coming up as well, Fairway Independent Mortgage. And our feel-good story of the day is a good one. Every day we're telling you something positive in our feel-good story. Today, plumber is praised for offering free repairs for elderly and disabled customers. Right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate program, based right here in Tampa Bay, and a signal's going all the way down to Fort Myers, Naples. So we got the entire Gulf Coast of Florida here, and we are helping you win as a consumer advocate. It's all about education and being proactive. And we don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. We want to help you win, and we do that by bringing on all these great expert contributors, on-air radio show partners that we have that take time out of their busy schedules. They come in and they talk about ways that you can live a better life and avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent out there. Check out consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors at consumerqb.com. Got a hot listing here in Tampa I want to let you know about. 5822 Schooner Way. This is a waterfront property with a pool. It's got a huge oversized lanai in the back as well, and it's got bay access. You've got bay access with your own boat, so bring your boat to this beautiful home at 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa, Florida. 7519 Pier Road in Port Richey is a nice commercial opportunity as well, right off of 19, US 19 in Port Richey, and you've got a great opportunity for a car dealership. A car lot would be a great opportunity there for that beautiful property here in Tampa Bay. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. All right, we got Diane Vance in the house, local mortgage expert contributor here, supporting the local economy. There's a lot to be said for shopping local and kind of, as I mentioned in the first segment, not working directly with some of those big banks. You got a great team. You got that personalized touch. Yep. And there's a lot happening with the market right now. What are you seeing on your end?
Well, while interest rates are the lowest they have been since 2016, and they're going to continue to drop. Not a lot. It's going to be a little bit. Interest rates are very good. And as everybody knows, Jerome Powell actually lowered interest rates a little bit by a quarter. And what that does is it sort of trickles down, but that's more for the Fed funds and for, overnight rates and things like that for the banks, but also it affects HELOCs, commercial loans, that type of thing. And it's funny because the reason he did it was, of course, because there's a lot of global risk. Mm-hmm. So people are putting more money into the U.S. The dollar is very strong, and when we get too strong, that actually hurts trade, and there's a lot of little trickling that actually affects everything. And but the interest rates are low, and unemployment figures just came out, and I just got a notice. The actual were 208,000. The consensus was 215, so that's actually better than expected.
Wow.
He actually left it open that he was going to look at it as he goes, but there's a lot of pressure on him and the feds to actually continue to monitor it and make sure that that they're paying attention to the what's going on. And there's a lot of 10-year bond and all those different bonds all over the world. Some of them are negative. You have to actually pay your bank to put money in the bank.
Craziness.
Yeah, like I have to pay you so much money to keep my money. I'll keep it in my mattress. But we cannot use that for down payment.
Yeah, exactly. That's the catch-22, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of those catch-22s in business.
Right. But the housing market is very strong. Appreciation is good for this year. I think you sent me an article that it's expected to be 4% this year, which is good. Solid. That's a normal, solid appreciation. As we also noticed by the sales from Pinellas County that we have a lot of Pinellas County is actually you need listings. We need listings. It's a great time for sellers.
Yeah,
sellers should be. Yeah, there you go.
4,883 active properties in Pinellas County as of the end of August. Now, if you come down to and by the way, look to the left there. If you're watching our TV show, 6362 in 2014 all the way down to 4,883. That's the lowest number of active inventories properties that we've had in the last 6 years. Okay, and then solds are also down. So if you look at solds, so that's necessarily telling us that we're in a seller's market. You got your absorption rate there, 41.2%. So what does all that mean in layman's terms?
It means that you need listings, and people need to start actually moving up. Or they need to, it's a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time to actually take your equity. You should be back to what it was, or even above of what it was prior to 2008. So
absolutely,
it should actually be there.
Right
and it's a great time to buy. You can actually, I mean, a difference of 0.5% makes a big difference in a payment. It makes I mean, it's not a huge difference, but it does make a difference in how much you can buy.
Sure.
And how much you can borrow. So it's very important to really, if you're thinking about it, really seriously think about it and start the planning process.
Yeah.
But interest rates are going to stay low for a while. And so it's a good time. So if people are nervous about, what do I do? Do I sell now? Do I wait or whatever? Call you and get a market analysis and sell.
It's interesting that because they say, oh, well, is it a good time to sell or buy? And sometimes it's a good time to do both, depending on what you're looking to do.
It actually is.
If you're looking right now to sell your $180,000 to $250,000 home, that market is considered a seller's market because there's so much inventory, or there's lack of inventory, and there's so many buyers that want to buy the cheaper inventory, the more affordable homes. Mm-hmm. So if you're a move-up buyer and you're selling a $200,000 home, and you say, hey, we're doing better in our jobs, we want to go ahead and step up to that waterfront beautiful home. Now you're talking about a $500,000 property, so it's a much different ball game.
Yes.
Between 200 to 500. You want to explain that, Diane?
Yeah, the hot market is of course that below 350. Pretty much. I mean, there's not a lot of houses that are for sale. And if you move from a 250 to 500,000, it's not going to increase your payment that much. And most people, the reason they move is for life changes, right? Expanding family, just tired of living where they're at. They're doing better in their jobs, and they want to expand. So interest rates are so low that it is. I mean, they should not wait.
It's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity to do. And a $250,000 loan or purchase is the houses that I get multiple offers on those houses.
Exactly.
So if somebody is thinking about selling, this is the time. You don't want to wait till interest rates increase. Right now they are low. They will not stay there forever.
Yeah.
So it will actually increase eventually, but it's not happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
But because it is a global economy, and the mortgage-backed securities is what drives interest rates, and that is as more people put more money in that, it's kind of opposite of what you think, and that causes the yield to go up. So it causes interest rates to go down.
Yeah.
So right now it's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, interest rates are in the high 3s, low 4s. It's crazy.
And it's one of those things too, where now the next logical thing for that seller out there, they say, oh, well, I'll just stick a sign out in the yard and think it's easy to do. The challenge with that, when you think about it for sell by owner, is that first of all, you have a security. First, the number one thing is, people are going to be approaching your home at all times of the day wanting to see a property. And then you have the marketing side of it and the professional side. But we've seen people, price their home improperly, leave money on the table, or price it $200,000, $300,000 over price where it should be. So don't fall into that trap. Mm-hmm. And then the national statistics show that for sell by owner properties on a national level, they actually sell for about 12% less than they could have sold with a real estate agent. So it offsets the 6%, 7% that real estate agents want to charge.
Yeah, there's a reason that real estate agents have licenses and home buyers do not.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you know the ins and outs and you know how to sell a property. The homeowner does not know how to sell a property. Even a lot of realtors that are licensed sometimes have somebody else sell their properties. Yeah. Because, again, it's the negotiation process. And, when things come up, you want a third party. There's a lot of things that can happen during a real estate transaction. Yeah. And but the first thing you want to do is get pre-qualified so that you can get pre-approved. And then even as a seller, if you're thinking about selling your house, go ahead and get pre-approved for what you can purchase and go to get the approved for the max, and then you get to decide what you want to buy. If you want to buy a home that is let's say it's real funny because I'll have people call me and say, okay, I only want to go to $300,000. Okay. That's great. I'll qualify them for their maximum, because guess what happens? They'll call me and say, oh, I don't like any of those houses at 300,000. Can you take me to 350 or 400? And it's almost 9 times out of 10 that happens. So the way we do it at our office is we qualify you at the maximum, and then you decide what's comfortable as a payment for you, because you know your family.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That brings me to a good point I want to talk about in our next segment here when we come back. I want to talk about, what do you do if you want to sell your house, but you also have to buy a house, right? Mm-hmm. So you've got this move for work, move up, move down. There's some strategy behind that. So let's move to an advanced strategy here when we come back. Right. And we're going to talk about how you can position yourself to be just as good as cash. And the more further you're along in this process, we're going to talk about it when we come back on the other side of this break. Yep. We got Doug Levi in the house, Strategic Insurance. We got Diane, Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, and I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, the real estate quarterback here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Text out. We'd love to connect with you with the show if you want to be signed up for our newsletter and just be invited to a lot of our events. Just simply text REQB to 313131. It's real simple. Text RE, like real estate quarterback, to 313131. That's a great way to connect with us. Also, our hotline, 813-670-7372. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We're always looking out for you, wanting to help you win here as a consumer advocate with our radio and TV show and as a top real estate firm here in Tampa Bay. Real excited about our issue coming out in Real Producers Magazine. We got that issue coming out here very soon. They did a special, Brandon Rhymes, it says an MVP driven to score for others. So it's all about helping other people throughout our consumer advocate approach. My wife Lindsay and I are heavily involved in the company together, growing the company and getting involved with the Children's Cancer Center gelatin plunge there. You can see the orange gelatin with my daughter and I jumping into that and sliding down and just, some of the cool highlights over the past. And then you got Warwick Dunn Charities being represented there with Warwick Dunn. But that's an exciting time to see the way our team is growing and adding more momentum every day. So real excited about that. That's the October issue coming out in Real Producers Magazine, top 500 agents in Tampa Bay. Out of, there's 30,000 realtors around this area, so there's a lot of competition. And I want to just urge our listeners to be careful, because I've heard some stories of, I went with my kid's soccer coach. I went with the family friend. You got to be real careful out there when it comes to your finances. And we've assembled and vetted 80 plus show partners, 80 plus categories of expert contributor advice. It's all about our expert contributors helping you understand your buying decisions. But we want this to be a different type of radio and TV show. It's more about you reaching out, engaging with us. And we love it when you call us. We've been getting an uptick in calls lately to our hotline at 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number. You can call or text that line. It's an off-air line. And no, you're not on the air when you call that line. Sometimes people get confused. Hey, am I on air right now? No, you're not. We're just having a conversation about how we can help you live a better life. So we do that by bringing in the best expert contributors. And we got two great examples of that today. Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance in the house, and Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage in here in studio today. So we want to help you win. That's our #1 goal. Brothers Easy Moving is the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Big shout out to Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that they are a first-class organization. They did a great job moving my family to our new home. And whether you're planning a local move or even a long-distance move all the way out to Seattle, Washington, you can move anywhere with Brothers Easy Moving, and they've got all types of great guarantees and offers special for the Real Estate Quarterback Show, the Consumer Quarterback Show expert contributors, and our listening audience. Just reach out. Let Brothers Easy Moving know that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, back here in studio, our goal is to help you win, and we got a hot property listing here back on the market, 12610 Port Marnock. This property we took off the market. We added a brand new kitchen, brand new bathrooms, completely upgraded it on the interior. This is at the Turnberry at the Eagles Golf Course community, no front or backyard neighbor, 12610 Port Marnock Drive in Odessa, Florida. Pool and spa, beautiful property. Check them all out at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, let's jump right into it. So we got Doug Levi here. I'm going back to Doug. We're going to talk to Diane again about how to properly structure when you have to buy and sell at the same time. It gets confusing for people. So we're going to walk through that scenario coming up. But Doug, I wanted to go back to you. Talk a little bit more about insurance, property casualty insurance, different types of insurances. And I love those success stories that you tell. I mean, I love it when you paint that picture with a story.
Yeah. So again, couple clients recently we worked with where renovations were kind of a big issue. We talked making sure that your clients are always updating and getting the homes revamped and letting your agent know on that. That's a big one. The other thing we've talked recently too is on your auto insurance. A great way to save is check with your carrier on usage-based driving discounts. So you'll see Progressive really pioneered this years ago, called the snapshot discount. They probably did the best job marketing that.
Yeah.
Almost every carrier now has it.
Flow.
Flow. And there you go, Flow. I'm not, if you like Flow, that's great. So,
Like
but
a little guy.
yeah, the Geico. And actually, I don't know if Geico has it, but a lot of them do. I know State Farm's done a big push recently, Drive and Save, and Allstate's got them. So almost all of them have it out there, and it's the classic. For years, I've been in the business 15 years. People say, oh, my rates are too expensive. I'm such a good driver. Well, now you can actually show the carrier. And so they're going to look at three things. They're going to look at your average speed that you drive. They're going to look at the number of hard brakes you do if you're slamming on brakes, and the time of day that you're driving, the average time of day. And so
I will not be getting that.
Yeah, there you go. And some people say that, and I totally respect that. Listen, it's like Big Brother. I don't want Big Brother looking at me, and
No, that's not the reason. All those three things are the
Yeah,
reason.
you're doing bad. Yeah. So a lot of them will give you a discount up front just for doing it, by the way. Even if you're not a great driver, they'll normally give you that discount for the first 6 months or so. And then after that, it can go up or down based on your actual results. But so it can be a great way to do it. You can also do it. Let's say you've got a family, you've got multiple cars, and maybe your wife has the heavy foot, but you don't, or vice versa. You could put it on one car, but not the other.
Okay.
So there's normally a lot of flexibility with it. Yeah, there
She's
you go.
gonna love
there
that,
you go. Exactly. So, and with all the technology today, you get all the updates and can get them on your smartphone and can kind of see our agency. We've seen on average, our clients have saved about 15%.
Wow.
So it can be a pretty significant discount.
That's super.
But so yeah, definitely for clients out there, check that out. You want to check out, it's called usage-based driving, is kind of the industry term, if you will. Almost every carrier now has their own little branded name for it.
So what I want to do now is open it up to a text offer to our listeners out there. I can tell you from firsthand experience, for a lot of our show partners or expert contributors, we just got solar put on our house. Real happy about that with the folks over at 3D Solar, the great team they have. But Doug actually did a great job checking our policies. We're married now, so we got a married couple. I know there's some discounts sometimes when you get married. They, it's almost like they look for ways to market a discount to you, right? But Doug did a search, found out we're able to save over $500 just by putting our policies together. He moved us to a new carrier, and it's a situation where you can save money too. Think about that. That's an additional $500 to our overall family budget. That's more money we can put into, whatever we want to put that into, right? Savings, groceries, however you're going to look at that. But text the word review to our hotline, 813-670-7372. Just text the word review, and you're going to get an insurance review, kind of a checkup from the neck up, as they say sometimes, right? So Doug's going to do a review for you, and just real simple. You can either send him your policies. I'll let him walk you through that, but text the word review right now. Take action. 813-670-7372. Text review, and let's let Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance, take a look at what you have in that policy. There might be some things where you're really hanging yourself out there too.
Yeah, and I'll give an easy one too on auto insurance that you see a lot of times where people won't have rental. So that can be a really big one. And so rental car coverage is a part of auto insurance. And so that says if I get into an accident and it's my fault, I've got a pot of money to fix my car, assuming I've got collision on there. But now I need to rent a car while my car's in the shop.
Yeah.
If I don't have rental car coverage, I may be paying $30, $40, $50 a day.
Wow.
Let's say my car's in the shop for a month. You can blow through a couple grand real quick. And if I were to say again, over the years, just one of the biggest ones you just see that are missed, it's probably rental. And it's very inexpensive. You're talking maybe $10 to $15 per car every 6 months.
The additional rider or something? Is that what it is?
Absolutely.
So it's an additional
Exactly.
rider.
It's
I always
additional
wondered
rider.
about that. You show up to the airport. You're going to visit family in the Northeast for 5 days. You're going to rent a car. You don't want to be hassling everybody, or especially if you're staying downtown somewhere, it's cool. Okay, I'll jump on an Uber. I'll do a bus, some kind of transit. But if you're driving around, you need a car. So you go up to the ticket thing and they say, "Oh, do you want to use our rental coverage," which is a lot more expensive, I'm sure, right?
It is, and it's a great question. It's another way where clients can really be educated and save. We get this question all the time, have for years. So just high level, your liability coverage normally always transfers. So whatever liability coverage I have on my policy now, the way the auto policy is written, and the only disclaimer I'm going to give is auto insurance can vary by the state, right? But almost all states normally do this and look at this, and they'll say, my liability policy will transfer to any car I drive. So let's say you rent you borrow a friend's car, you rent a car. Okay, your liability will actually follow you. And your comp and collision will as well.
So it goes with the driver, not the car.
Correct, right.
Okay.
Now, coverage of the car is always primary. So in that example, not to get too in depth, but in the example of, let's say I just borrow my friend's car.
Yeah.
Well, his insurance would be primary because it's going to follow the car and the person. But let's say he didn't have enough insurance based on the claim.
Yeah.
Your insurance would then be secondary.
Got it.
And then would kick in. Okay, if that makes sense. The one thing, and to try and be clear, and what I even do personally, like when I go to the counter, I don't buy all the extra insurance. The only one I do get, and we do recommend, is it's called your damage waiver. Okay, and what this is if the car, I rent a car, and I get into an accident, my comp and collision will cover it. My comp and collision will transfer from my auto policy. Which the only thing that will not is the amount that rental car company could charge per day if they were able to rent that car out.
Okay.
If you follow me. And it's called loss of use, or it's called a collision damage waiver is another thing you'll normally see.
Got it.
And so basically what that'll say is, again, if I get in a wreck in an enterprise car, they can't charge $50 a day for the next month. I'm out $1,500. My auto insurance policy that I have here in Florida is not going to pick up that collision damage waiver or that loss of use.
Got it.
So that's the only one I normally buy, because when you buy that coverage, that will pick that part up. So that's just a real practical thing, but I don't buy normally the liability, the uninsured motorist, the comp and collision, all the other things they may try and sell you, because there's no doubt they make a fair amount of money on that.
Well, Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance, longtime friend of the program here and a top-notch professional in the area. We don't learn any of this in school.
Yeah,
you don't learn this in school. You don't learn this. It's like you have to get it through. What do they say? The hard knocks
School
of life.
Hard Knocks,
yeah,
right?
School of Hard Knocks. Yeah, and it's not the HBO show with Gruden and them on it. But so it's interesting you think about that. Hey, when we come back, more from our expert contributors. We're going to jump into our lightning round, which is filled with great top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom, and more from Diane, Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage here as well. Our feel-good story of the day is a good one. Plumber is praised for offering free repairs for elderly and disabled customers. Right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. That goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, we're back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by Brandon Rhymes, helping you win in any marketplace. I want to give a shout out to my wife's business as well. She has a Feng Shui of Tampa Bay business, and she does Feng Shui, home clearing, energy healing, couples healing, meditation workshops, and more. Got great reviews online, and Lindsay is awesome. She does a really good job with that. Also a team leader on our team, helping our agents produce more, and she's a coach, and she does a lot of good stuff. So check her out online as well. And giving a shout out to the Lucky Dill Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is the Lucky Dill Deli, New York City Bar, Brooklyn Bakery, catering, banquets, and home of the sandwich that ate Brooklyn. They're online at luckydilldeli.com. 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa. They've got a location on 19 in Palm Harbor. And Doug, Levi's in the house. Diane, Vance, you both have eaten there as well.
Yep, it's good.
Great spot.
Excellent
Very
spot,
good
right?
Yes. I've watched it grow.
You're not going to
Very
go where
friendly staff.
and you won't walk away hungry.
Oh, no.
That's for
Absolutely.
sure. Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
You may be good for the day.
Yeah.
You could
You
actually
may have lunch.
You
and
could
you're
actually
good for the next
split
day.
it.
That's what I do. A lot of times I'll eat half of it.
Yeah,
Or lately I've been getting like the half a sandwich and a soup.
Yeah.
Great. I love
There's
that.
a lot of food. They
Great
bring
combinations.
Big proportions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I love it too because you go in there and you got the old retro football games. Watching the '85 Bears the other day, and just kind of cool. And they always do like whoever's that Thursday night matchup. So they'll throw like a retro game. So you got like Dan Marino from the Dolphins. Last week I think it was, and so it's pretty cool. Great ambiance, fun, right here in Tampa, just across the street from the mall. Lucky Dill Deli. All right, we're back here in studio helping you win. Doug Levi's in the house. Strategic Insurance. He's our expert contributor in the insurance space. Diane Vance as well. Fairway Independent Mortgage, local mortgage expert. She's actually a regional manager. She's got like 30 to 40 people working on her team, doing a great job. Lots of volume. And we got some questions that we're going to answer for you after this. But we want to tell you this feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so this plumber is praised for offering free repairs for elderly and disabled customers. I love these stories like this. A plumber in England is gaining worldwide praise for his honesty and kindness towards the elderly. An invoice from James Anderson of Brunley made its way onto social media and showing how he charged nothing for a call out to fix a leaky boiler for a 91-year-old customer. No charge, he says, and at the help of helping thousands of elderly and disabled people since shutting down his private firm, launching a non-profit company, which stands for Disabled and Elderly Plumbing and Heating Emergency Response. Anderson launched Desfer in 2017, plumbing and heating company, trying to overcharge and found a scam. And he's, with these disabled people. And quote, that incident was an incident that pushed me to turn Northern Plumbing and Heating into Defner. And thank you for your company and your family. The company is in charity. And Anderson says the switch to nonprofit work has seen him fall into debts in around $80,000. He also insists there's a shortfall is under control. A lot of people ask me, why are you getting yourself into debt? Why are you doing this? To me, debt is debt. I would rather owe someone money to somebody than another person being alive and happy and safe. It's in his heart, and he's always wants to be that way, he says. So pretty cool. Helping helping the hurting, helping the elderly.
That's nice. Very nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got time. I'm going to go to that question, and then we're going to jump into our lightning round. So I got a family that wants to buy, but they also have to sell.
Okay.
So it's interesting. You got to kind of weigh that out because the person that you're wanting to put the offer in, they're going to say, well, you haven't even put your house on the market yet.
Right. Yes. So there's a couple options they can do. Depending on how much equity they have, they can always pull out what is called a bridge loan, which is basically pulling the equity out of the house to buy the new house.
Okay.
They can always rent out their current home if they would like, or they could qualify for both homes, just depending on the situation. The other option, let's say they do qualify for both homes, and they want to put a big down payment on the new home, and they're going to they have their home up for sale and it hasn't sold yet. What we can do is on the new mortgage, do a first and a second mortgage, have them put a minimum down 5%, do the first and second mortgage, and whatever they want to end up with their end mortgage, do that as the first mortgage. And when they sell their house, they could pay off the second mortgage. It's an equity loan, and they can always keep it and use it when they want to for improvements or whatever as they go. But that's what people do. That's the best way to do it. So either way, so it just depends on the situation and what they're doing. Now, if they're a veteran and they want to go from VA to VA, they would have to either qualify for both homes. If they qualify for both homes, they still can get another VA loan. But they can't. The VA does not allow you to rent it out and count the rent against it. And there's certain stipulations with government loans. But there's typically a way around it, and a lot of people close the same day. So, it's, and some sellers will take a contingency offer depending on how hot. And actually, if you have a contract and we actually have like an offer on it, like an offer on it, we can actually exclude that payment. So if there's that and you haven't closed yet, we can actually exclude the payment.
So that's where I was going to go with it too, because there's Keller Williams has the best training education. Right. There's actually a class that they do about this exact scenario, because you can get people into a bad predicament if you're throwing around the wrong advice. So correct. I love I want to recap what you said. So if you got a property you got to sell, but you also have to buy, you want to buy, you found that beautiful home, but you haven't started selling your home yet.
Right.
Here's where you go. You got a bridge loan opportunity. You've got a rent out opportunity for that. And you could do some combination of both. You have an opportunity to do both and take out a loan. Now, here's the other thing. If you at least have your house listed, that's one check towards the right direction for that seller, right? Now, if you've already passed inspections, if you have a contract and you've already passed inspections, okay, that's another level of certainty for your potential new buyer purchase, okay?
Right.
Now, if you passed appraisal, now you're even further towards that finish line.
Correct.
And that's going to be that much more of an opportunity for the seller to say, yes, I'll sell you my house, even though your house isn't closed.
Yeah, and if your house, once you have, even just having an offer on it, we can exclude the payment from the buyer. So if you have an offer, it doesn't actually have to close. And it just depends on which program they take, because not all the programs are the same, but it is available.
And one more quick word, too, on veterans. We offer a 1/4 to a 1/2 point back to our veterans. We're going to give you our rebated money, so real estate commissions back to our veterans, 1/4 to a 1/2 point. Anyone out there, we love to honor that. We did a great event for veterans last week, and that was awesome. We're going to do another one in January. We're going to push the next one out to January, kind of build it up over time, but that's going to be a good time as well. All right, we got Doug Levi in the house, Strategic Insurance, Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, and it's lightning round time.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning round.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Ladies first, Diane Vance.
Go ahead and let's get you pre-qualified, pre-approved. Call me at 727-647-8199, or my website is my name, DianeVance.com. And I will be more than happy to let you know how much you qualify for, and we can go from there.
DianeVance.com. Check her out online, and there's a lot of ways you can just do it online as well. Start that process online. If people, easy. and you make it perfect. Hey, if you're not an online person, you want to meet in person, okay, we can meet in person. We'll do a Skype or Zoom.
Whatever.
Exactly. It's so easy to do it nowadays. Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance.
Yeah, so call us for a review. We'd love to review where you're at right now, see if we can help you save some money. We've got a great Amazon gift card challenge as well. So we do a $17 Amazon gift card. If we can't save you money or beat your rates, $17 Amazon gift card on us. So just an opportunity to say thank you for letting us look under the hood and making sure you're taken care of. And a lot of times we are able to save people money.
You're going to win either way. You get $17 Amazon card. You're going to get a protection review. And that was the text for a review. Just text review. Now, Diane, I want to do a text for our renters out there. Can you talk about a rent versus own analysis? Then I'll cue it up.
Sure. If you're paying, I think we usually use $1,200 a month or something like that, you're actually spending $85,000 over a 5-year period. So we want to make sure and get you in a home so that you can actually keep that money. And your principal that you pay on a mortgage is about $25,000. So you definitely want to do that. It's actually better even today as interest rates are dropping.
Right.
So it gets better every time interest rates drop. You can buy more and it makes more sense.
I think the human brain, it's one of those things where it works when we really, take it out a little bit further. $1,200 a month. It's $1,200 a month. I got to live somewhere. I got to pay rent anyhow. Well, let's actually analyze that. If you were to pay $1,200 a month over 5 years, where you're just renting, you get to live in the house. You can't throw the cool parties. You can't do all the fun stuff. Can't put a pool in. You can't do that. So if you were to pay $1,200 towards a home that you own, you're paying down $25,000 in principal. You're building up equity. So that appreciation we talked about at 4%, that's a conservative.
Yeah.
If you're buying in Palm Harbor, Clearwater, some of these hot areas, South Tampa, that's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10% in some areas. So you have an opportunity to build wealth through a couple different vehicles that we have here today. We're going to save you some money on the insurance side with a text review. We're going to help you out on the renting side. So text rent in the amount of rent that you're paying to our consumer advocate hotline number, 813-670-7372. Simply text the word rent in the amount of rent that you're paying to 813-670-7372. And we're going to reply back with, hey, what's your name and email? Please give give us your name and email. We'll be able to get that over to Diane Vance and her team, and she's going to
send them-
follow up.
I'll send them the actual comparison side by side of
Yes.
rent versus what their mortgage payment would be and how much they're spending. It's actually a very nice comparison.
Love it. And it's all professional typed out mortgage coaches, the program. Very cool. Doug Levi as well is going to offer you that $17 protection review as well. Just to get a review on your insurance policies. You know, what's your auto, what's your homeowners? Do you have flood? Do you have a wind rider? Do you have all these different riders we discussed today? Important to do that. So all about helping you win in any marketplace. Hey, another great show today. I want to thank our expert contributors for coming in. I want to thank our team behind the scenes, our producers, everybody involved with the show. Really appreciate it. All our listeners and viewers out there. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. The Consumer Quarterback Show page out there as well. Got our show on Amazon, Apple TV, Roku, and a lot of ways that you can connect with us as well. YouTube. We got our iTunes podcast out there. So a lot of great content there. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.